When women who date people with healthier boundaries, who have more security within themselves, we, the people who grew up with caregivers who didn't give us more emotional nurturance, who didn't see us, who didn't care for us in the way that you need to be cared for, when we meet these people, we literally don't know what to do. Hey, loves! My name is Dantea, and I'm your fave self-worth therapist and coach. And this is my show, Situationship. This show is about getting out of toxic situationships that go beyond partners to family and friends and everything in between, to living a life of joy and self-worth. Okay, let's get into it. Hey, loves, welcome back. Today's an episode where I'm not recording from my home, so you might hear a dog barking in the background. That's okay, it's my friend's dog. But I wanted to just talk about green flags and how some of us are allergic to green flags. How some of us get scared and don't know what to do when there's a green flag. And so this is kind of like a top of my head kind of episode I wanted to do. Don't have a lot of things planned, but I did do what I was going to say. I want to try having some episodes with like a cocktail or something. So I'm drinking this wine from one of my favorite wineries out here back home, actually, Columbia, I think it's Columbia Valley, I think. Anyways, so I've been seeing a lot of clients lately, and there's been this language around green flags, right? We know the red flags, and then there's green flags. And so the green flags, for those who don't know, green flags are the like healthy, keep going flags. Like these are healthy behaviors. These are good qualities, green flags, right? When we see green flags, we like the green flags, but if we're really used to toxic relationships, if we're used to not getting our needs met, if we're used to people letting us down very quickly, if we're used to just the chaos, right? If we're used to the up and down, if we're used to the not knowing where we stand, and here you are meeting someone who's like, I'm dating for marriage, or I'll like date one person at a time. There's someone who has their shit together, right? Like you question the authenticity of it. Now I get it. Do your due diligence. People are saying one thing, you want to check the facts, things like that. However, what I'm focusing on right now is just a simple fact of when we're so used to red flags, our bodies are used to that chaos, our bodies are used to that up and down, our bodies are used to constantly feeling like conflict. And what's the word I'm looking for? Our bodies are not relaxed or not grounded, but there's a word for it. Turmoil, right? So we know how to navigate people who aren't giving us emotional safety. We know how to navigate people who aren't showing up for us. We know how to navigate people who aren't reliable. We know how to navigate the people who say one thing verbally, but their behavior continues to say, I didn't mean what I said, right? And you keep waiting and you keep eating the breadcrumbs because you're hoping. So when you meet someone who doesn't have the breadcrumbs, when you meet someone who is consistent, when you meet someone who says, I'll call you back in 5 minutes, and they do, when you meet someone who gives you attention and they're not on their phone the whole day, when you meet someone, and they don't, it's happened to me, where you're having a conversation one-on-one and they step out of the room to take a phone call, and it's 11 o'clock at night or something, sometime late, we don't know what to do with the green flags people. We feel like, oh, the other shoe's going to drop, too good to be true. I just regulate. That's what I was looking for. We just don't know how to regulate our bodies. So I'm reading this book, and, you're invited to read it with me. Reading this book. It's called Women Who Love Too Much. It came out in the 80s. Can you believe it? It came out in the 80s, but it still hits today. So I'm only like 3 chapters in, but it's a lot of talking about how when women who date people with healthier boundaries, who have more security within themselves, we, the people who grew up with caregivers who didn't give us more emotional nurturance, who didn't see us, who didn't care for us in the way that you need to be cared for, When we meet these people, we literally don't know what to do. We don't know how to connect on a level that isn't about manipulation, that isn't about, let me use my body, let me use sex for connection, let me connect to them superficially, right? Let me be hyper vigilant, hyper observing their behaviors like I do, because I grew up in a home where I feel like I had to watch my mother's every move to make sure that I didn't get in trouble. I became hyper vigilant about observing behaviors. And so when you come across someone with green flags, healthier boundaries, how would I know how to connect without watching their every move and assuming that they're thinking this, and assuming because now they have a frown on their face, that means I did something wrong, and assuming that, oh, they didn't call me back and they didn't like me enough. And I mean, it just goes into chaos, really. So we really don't know what to do, right? We don't know, like, what's it like to have a secure attachment? We say we want a secure attachment. We say we don't want to be anxious avoidant. We say we don't want to be just straight up avoidant. We want to have a secure attachment. If you've never had a secure, especially romantic, because that definitely kicks up. Any relationship can kick up your attachment with your caregivers. However, romantic, something about it really, really kicks it up. So any relationship, any attachment type can kick up stuff from your caregivers. It's just when we're finally in a secure attachment and we don't have anything really to compare it to, we don't know what to do. We question everything. So the hope is that you find a way to not just connect sexually. You find a way to allow yourself to really feel what it's like to be secure, to really feel like you made a mistake and that person allows you the chance to talk it through without being like, ah, you're too much, cutting, I'm never talking to you again. The secure attachment, the green flags, allows you to finally show up in a way that you've always wanted to in the relationships with people who had a whole bunch of red flags, right? The secure attachment, the green flags, is you being able to ask the question when you're ready, what are your intentions with me? Where do you see this going? Maybe even you being able to say, I'm in a place right now where I'm looking for a serious committed relationship. Are you? Versus with people who have more red flags, you're not going to really say that because you kind of already feel that they're not wanting the same thing you're wanting. But it's just so nice to be on a date with someone. It's just so nice to at least pretend that this is going to go somewhere further than the summer or the weekend or 6 months, 3 weeks. Like, we don't know how to show up. And it's scary. Like, I just want to name that. It's really scary, right? Like, I remember for me, when I was in a relationship with people who had a lot more green flags, I was embarrassed to like share that with my friends. I felt like, who am I to like, I feel like I was kind of rubbing it in their face, right? I was rubbing it in their face like, look how great it is, look how we can talk about everything, look how we can move through things, look how they're too talking about the future and what they want to do with me, look how our goals and our values and our visions for life align. Like, it felt like I didn't deserve this. It felt like somehow I stumbled into it and it's gonna leave, and never had one before, so how do I know it's real? Right? Like, are you relating to this? I'm sure a lot of you are like, yeah, I've been there, I get it. So I'm gonna keep reading the book. I'm gonna keep seeing what it says. I mean, it hits a lot of points, and then I'm gonna keep coming back and sharing like my updates with you all because it goes so deep. It goes so deep. Like, being able to shift from pick me, look how worthy I am, look how valuable I am, to I know my value, I know my worth. Do you align with what I'm wanting? Do I even like you? Do you fit into my life goals? Right? What kind of questions am I asking? Am I allowing myself to think about if I am enjoying this connection? Allow myself to find other ways to connect that's just not on the sexual level, or like what I can do for you. Am I if I'm making you lunch, am I always inviting you out to come eat, and or you don't have the money, you didn't get paid yet, I'll pay for it, right? Like, how can we show up in different ways where we're letting that person charm us, if you will? We're letting that person date us. We're not trying to use manipulation, and or how far can I push you? Even that type of stuff. I used to do it all the time, right? How far can I push you to know that it's real? You know? Because again, when you're dating people with more green flags, or just all around green flag person, not, of course, doesn't mean just because someone has green flags doesn't mean they're perfect, right? However, the idea is someone has more healthy self-awareness and they take accountability, we literally do not know what to do. It's like, wait, you're supposed to be like other guys, or other people who respond negatively and get upset and don't call back and you never hear from them again, or they hit you up with like, hey, stranger. But a person with the green flags is going to be in your face. They're going to let you know what's up. They're going to say what they need. They're even going to tell you what they didn't like about what you did. And like really still wanting to work it out. Like, how uncomfortable is that?
If you're listening to this episode, I bet you're wondering what behaviors you're doing that keep you from getting your needs met and ending up in situationship after situationship. I got you. I've created a situationship quiz and I'm so excited about it. Take the quiz to discover more behaviors and more tips for navigating situationships, because I know you're in more than one right now. No judgment, boo-boo. I used to have 5 situationships at a time. Yes. So you're not alone. You can find the quiz at www.dontea.co/quiz. That's dontea.co/quiz. I'll drop it in the show notes as well. Okay, back to the episode.
So, I don't know. Tell me what you think about green flags. What are your thoughts on it? Have you met someone that has green flags and you pushed them away? Have you met someone that has green flags and it took you a long time to calm your nervous system down? Right? For me, when the some recent people who had green flags, I did a lot of self-sabotaging. Like couldn't get my mind around it, right? Constantly said things like, "Oh, we should just break up then because always this is too hard," or "We should just break up then because you haven't responded yet to my text," right? Like just all types of stuff, just bananas. Like, girl, calm down. It's gonna be okay. Get it together. There's also this piece too with people with green flags that it's boring. Like they're boring. They're not exciting. Again, I'm thinking of an ex. He had more green flags than I was used to. And I remember, as your friends would, they're going to ask you, how's it going? How's dating so and so? What's going on in your relationship? And I was used to like complaining and bitching and being unhappy and crying and just, help me figure this out. What do you think this behavior means? And with that relationship, I didn't have anything to share. I didn't have anything to share until like the last few months of us being together. Cause I knew like, oh, we're probably going to break up because it's officially clear that we want 2 different things. I didn't want children. He wants children. However, I had nothing to say. And so because I had nothing to say, I was like, oh, this relationship is boring. Something's wrong. And then I learned how boring equals safety. Right? Isn't that wild? That might be an episode that I'm going to talk about. If you want to hear more on that topic, let me know. Like, comment if you're watching it on YouTube, or comment in the reviews, whatever, hit me up. It blows my mind, right? How did safety become boring? Which means, how did chaos become love? How did chaos become the faux safety? Like, literally something to think about. So I'm going to wrap this up. I hope this helps. Hopes it gets you thinking about, am I allergic to green flags? What do I not like healthy behaviors? Maybe even kicking up. There are some things that maybe you need to work on, and again, like always, if you feel like you need help with that, see a therapist, see a coach, you can work with me if you want to really like dig deeper. What is it that I get so uncomfortable with when I'm around someone that has security, that has healthy boundaries, that's not into the roller coaster of toxic situationships, right? That doesn't dangle commitment in my face, doesn't dangle, let's have a kid, whatever, in my face, new car, whatever it is, vacations. That was my dangle for a long time in my face. We really want green flags. We really want the security, yet we get scared because there's a big part of it. We don't know how to connect in a way that's not devaluing ourselves, where it's not performing, where it's not, I want to be evaluated in the best light. So when they're like, hey, I want to see who you really are. Hey, I'm here to talk about the hard stuff. Hey, I'm showing up to you. Hey, I'm supporting you at this award ceremony that you didn't invite me to. Do we accept that? Do we reject it? Do we push it away? Because it's like, what do you mean? Not, no, I'm supposed to be calling you. Like, where are you at? What would it be like if we accepted it? It's like, oh, this person's showing up to me. And I get it. Like, because even as I'm saying it now, I'm like, okay, but you can accept it. And then the next week they fuck you over. Okay, yeah. They could. That doesn't take away that piece that they showed up. That you're able to witness yourself being cherished, supported, if you're not used to that. So, okay. Something to think about. Hope you enjoyed this episode. You've got this. You got things to work on. You got your task for the week. So I believe in you. And I'll talk to you soon. Until next time. Bye.
Thank you for listening to the show, loves. This show was produced by Mackenzie Mazel and me, Dantea. If you got a question you'd like me to answer, which I know you do, please send it to dantea@soireesintherapy.com. That's SOIREES for soirees. When you do that, the answer might just become an episode, and I would love to keep talking about your question. Want to work with me? The link is in the show notes. I'll see you there, and I'll see you in the next episode. Okay,